So hello and welcome to another of my short videos on tarot. So normally when I share videos on tarot, I demonstrate readings or how to read, reading live for myself. Today I wanted to share a spread that I did for myself last week actually, that was just really so powerful and so insightful that I wanted to share with you how amazing this wonderful tool is. So basically I had booked a shaman healing for myself that evening. As a shaman, I ensure that I receive regular healings myself, and I wanted to know what to expect. So what else would I turn to but the tarot? And I did a very simple 3-card reading. What do I need to know? And the first card that came up was the Emperor. Now the Emperor is a good, strong card about safety and discipline and calmness and having a plan. And it should be noticed that my shaman healer is a man as well, so very much resonating with that. And what was curious when I turned up, normally I lie on a massage table and there's rattling and drumming and such like, but when I turned up this time, my shaman healer obviously had a plan, and I was invited to sit down, and we did some work that I wasn't expecting to do, but he had clearly reflected on what we'd done before and had a plan. So that was quite interesting. The other interesting thing about the Emperor is, although he is very disciplined and clearly in control, and what you want from a shaman healer, whether it's myself or someone else, is to feel they have control, is he has no weapon. He is a ruler and a leader without weapon. And what I felt from the shaman healing that I received was that it was very compassionate, was that it was very understanding, and that was really nice. So that was the first card. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is the very best way to learn about tarot is to read for yourself on a daily or a weekly basis, and then look at your notes and reflect, how did my experience match what I thought would happen? So the next card was the High Priestess. Clearly this represented me. I very much identify with this card. I identify this card with the Norse goddess Hel, partly because the pomegranates here will link her to Persephone, which is of course then goddess of the underworld, and partly with the duality, and Hel is seen as being half dead and half alive, half light and half dark. And this was me, and I really did feel like I plunged to the underworld. I really did leave my body and get to a core aspect of who I am. So that's great. The next card, sadly, is why I have been less active on, YouTube, social media, blogging, everything recently for the last sort of 2 weeks. The Tower. Absolutely, this is how I felt. After the shaman healing, with my full permission, was very much expected. I really did basically leave some stuff behind there, let go of some stuff, and I felt flawed, I guess, afterwards. In fact, I couldn't stand afterwards. That's how flawed I felt. And since the shaman healing, it is a good thing. I feel like I'm putting myself back together. But the Tower, to me, there's no door here, right? The Tower is something that you have built in your life out of need, out of necessity, to make yourself feel safe. And I had self-limiting beliefs that I had created in my life for a very, very long time, and they allowed me to interpret the world in a way that made me feel safe. But it then became a trap. The Tower has got bigger and bigger and bigger until it's no longer a place of safety, but it's a trap. And I often think with the Tower, it's about, with the hand of God, with the lightning and with the fire, this is about clearing out the crap. And as often it is a heart fall. You feel like you're falling. You feel like you'll never find your feet again. But these symbols here, they are yods. They are a blessing. You will find them. in the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So that's definitely how I felt for the last, I guess, 2 weeks. Empty, unstable, unsettled, as if parts of me were missing, but going with it, you know, falling and knowing that it will be better afterwards. And the truth is, it really is starting to come better now. So with the Tower, I often say, I mean, let's be honest, if it's come up to represent health, home or job, you're going to think, okay. But on a more spiritual level, in a bigger life level, it's letting go. And the card at the bottom of the pack, which I always look at, and this is just so, for me, this was so funny. And the minute I looked at this, I just knew exactly what it meant. Now, what you need to know is that the healing I had was a series of 3. And in the first healing, I am a Norse shaman. I'm sharing tarot here, but my main core, if you like, is a Norse shaman. And in the first healing I had with my teacher, he was possessed by Odin. And I felt as if Odin shot light into me through the crown chakra and illuminated the work that needs to be done. Now, to me, Odin is one of 2 cards in the tarot deck. He's either the Hanged Man, for Odin hung himself upon the world tree Yggdrasil to gain the knowledge of the runes, or he is the Ace of Swords, because he is in the rune poems that I work with. We link Odin with the sword, but the sheath is that for the sword is part of the rune poem. So as soon as that came up, I knew, particularly when you link it with the Tower, that there would be cutting away, letting go. This was Odin's work continuing, and although it would be difficult, you only have to look at this card. We have here an olive branch for peace. We have here a laurel branch for victory. And here we have the truth thrust through the material crown. It's illuminating. It's beautiful. It's difficult. And in my mind, when I see the Ace of Swords, I often think it's success in adversity. And the place that I feel like I've got to now is that the self-limiting beliefs that I built up in times of difficulty, and we all do them, have been cut away now. And that will allow me to live a more peaceful life and, in so many different ways, a more successful life. So just, you know, a catch up really and a check-in. I would just say each, you know, at least every week, ideally every day, ask the cards, what's going to happen today? What do I need to know about today? And then look back. Did what you think the cards mean, was that right? And slowly but surely, you'll get to grips with this beautiful living book that is the tarot.